Hello, it's me, itzanowski. And today I want to talk about concert experiences. So a while ago, I asked on my Instagram, I'm not an influencer, I just asked my friends and other followers what kind of video they would maybe like to see. And someone said my best concert experiences. So here I am, finally talking about it. And I'm not only going to talk about my best experiences, but also my worst, of course, because I'm a very negative person, and the weirdest. So the weirdest concert, the weirdest show I went to, and why it was so weird. So yeah, let's start with the worst one. So the worst one was actually not, at a small show or a single concert, but it was a festival. And no, in case you've seen my Graspop video, it was not that. By far not. It was actually in 2019 when I went to Rock am Ring in Germany for the first and last time. And in case you don't know, Rock am Ring is a very big festival in Germany. I think I read something about like 80,000 people. And, it's mainly rock music and, with some metal. I think that year we saw Tool there or Slipknot, but also with other, more mainstream artists also. So it's kind of mixed, right? Some of the people we went with wanted to go see a German punk band I don't particularly like. And they really wanted to go to the front. Now, the special thing about Rock am Ring is that it is at Nürburgring. So you might have heard of it. It's a famous racetrack. And I think they had something like, traffic light systems because, at some point there is not enough space anymore in the front in that section. So we were let in and it seemed like, there's still enough space for everyone. In fact, there wasn't. So we went in there and it was so crowded that we were just at the back and we said, well, okay, this is not really fun. So we stayed for a couple of songs and then we actually wanted to get out again. And that was very difficult. So we went to the other side, tried to get out, and there was just very small space where you could just leave. And there were too many people. So people, were just pushing against each other and you were not able to move any more on your own. So you were just going like this. And you had no autonomy anymore. It was just like, okay, we're stuck in here and we can, kind of try to wiggle into that direction. But actually a lot of people try to, and it was kind of scary. So I remembered that, with like all of these mass panic situations, it always starts when people start panicking. So I try to, be as unbothered as possible and, not panic, not seem like I panic because, if you see someone panicking, you start panicking yourself probably. So I try to keep calm and, after a couple of minutes, being stuck in there, like pushed against a fence lightly so we weren't injured, we managed to get out, and one of the guys just sat down and put his head into his hands, and you could just see that he was really shaken up, and actually all of us were, and we were like, okay, wow, this is like one of these situations where, if something went wrong, if someone would have started to panic, it could have ended really badly, and that just made it my worst concert experience. I cannot think of anything worse than, thinking about like, oh yeah, am I going to die here? In front of, that band? Shit, like, no. Yeah, so that was the worst. It had more to do with, organization, the people organizing the festival and, not really with the people themselves, but still the worst. So let's go to the best. Very different. So, story time. In 2018, I went to a Kate Nash concert and there was a band playing as support and we went in quite late and, I was going through a difficult time and saw some people for the first time again, and we were just talking, and I did not really pay much attention to the band. Yeah, so I kind of did not really listen to them playing and stuff. But when I went home, a couple of days later, I thought like, okay, what kind of band was that actually? And I looked them up online and listened to all of their stuff and fell in love with that band. So the band's name is Skating Polly. So I'm wearing one of their shirts. And yes, it is signed. No, I just discovered their music then, and I listened to their album. So they started making music really, really young. So they call themselves like the music like ugly pop, and I would say like they're a rock band. Yeah, so they started making music really young. So they already had a couple of albums, which was really impressive. And I just listened to all of that. So I made a Skating Polly playlist and just listened to every album. And a year later, I saw that they were kind of in my area. So I had to drive like 1 or 1.5 hours, which is nothing for Americans, I guess. But, it's kind of long in Germany for just one very small show. And yeah, I went there and there weren't many people. So it was a small club in Siegen. So that was in 2019. And I knew all of the lyrics. So I guess they didn't really think that someone would know everything. But I spent the whole year listening to them, right? And I went there, and because I did not really know anybody there and everything, I just let loose. And I just remember, closing my eyes and dancing around and just singing to every song. And I had a great time. Like, I had the best time ever. And I remember then wanting to buy some merch, going to the merch stand, and people in front of me let me go in front and said, well, apparently, like, obviously, you are a fan, so, go ahead. And yeah, this is where I bought this t-shirt and had it signed by Kelly. Yeah, and that was really great. So I have really fond memories, and they really inspired me to make music in general, because I thought, so they are two sisters and their brother, and they are a couple of years younger than me. And I thought, well, if they can do it and they've done it for so long, it's so inspiring. I wanted to do it too. And then I went ahead and I had my first metal band. So different music, but a couple of years later, I started, a similar band. So it's kind of a Riot Girl grunge band. And I always thought it would be so cool to play as support band for them. And it happened this year. So this year in February, we played as support in our area, and it was really cool. So, I mean, what can I say? Really nice. So, I also have the poster here behind me. And that was the best experience. So, of course, the other shows by them were also great, and I would encourage you to check them out. I will link them. They inspired me so much, I will link them. But the first one, definitely the best. Now, the weirdest show. Also in 2019, so apparently a lot of weird stuff happened, but it was Manowar. I'm just gonna say it. It was Manowar, and they had one of their "this is going to be our last tours," and they were in Dortmund actually. And we just thought, well, of course, everybody knows Manowar, and they're here, and wouldn't it be kind of funny to see them live? Kings of Metal and stuff. So we went there, and I actually, because I had to look up if it was 2019 or another year. And I think I feel kind of crazy because there are articles writing about that show on that day, like in Dortmund, and nobody mentions that weird thing. So I I asked my partner, I did not dream about that. That happened. They had ads. Like, if I remember correctly, they had some sort of tour sponsor with Manowar ads, and it was a tool company of some sorts, like something like builders or just tools. It was an American company, so I did not know the company, but that was so strange because, like, in that venue, they like on huge screens, they were playing ads with Manowar in them before the Manowar show for something completely unrelated. Like, it was not music related. It was not like, this is our merch or this is our signature guitar or something. It was, this is some random ass product that sponsors us. And I've never seen that before. I haven't seen it ever since. But it happened, trust me. And yeah, so that was really strange. The show, to be honest, I don't remember too much about the show. So I think half of the people, I expected much more like, often, elitist audience, like, people just calling others posers. But I think most of the people went there ironically, just because I like some Manowar songs. Like, I think in general they are really just funny. I think like funny and weird and cringe and kind of a meme now. But they have some decent songs, and I think overall the show was also decent. But they were just weird in general. Yeah. So not much more to say about that. I don't know if you found this interesting. Tell me about your best, worst, or weirdest concert experiences. Maybe I will do a follow-up at some point. Yeah. Time for the bonus cat.
Look, Jacob. He said he loves skating Polly.